Greetings and welcome back to another segment on Inspired Messages. Um, I'm out in nature today recording, so if you hear all the sounds of nature, let's be thankful. Man, I had an experience. Well, I'm having an experience today with the different spirit animals that are just appearing. It's just amazing. But this segment is just about children, these precious, children. The other day I came across a video where a woman was slapping the head of a little girl. She appeared to be maybe 2 or 3 years old. It appears that she's at a daycare, maybe 3, 4 years old, I would say. She appears to be in a classroom setting, and this little girl it appeared to be a towel in the video. The little girl was being hit on the head because she threw up, and the so-called caretaker or teacher, I don't know what this woman was, but assuming that the image depicted that it was a classroom setting, that this was the teacher, she was hitting the little girl across the head, upset because the little girl threw up, and it was clear that all the other students were probably removed from the classroom. There was only her and the little girl in the class, and she was just hitting the girl across the head, asking her why did she vomit. Another spirit animal just flew by. Why did she vomit? And the little girl was trying to clean it up excuse me, and she just started pounding her head, and the little girl started crying, and it was just so sad. And just images of children after children being abused, being neglected. And these are children. These children are not just children. These children are ancestors returning. And immediately I'm watching this woman hitting on this little girl's head, and the first thought in my head is, oh my God, they're so innocent. I apologize, but I had to end the recording outdoor, and I'm recording this later on. She had no self-love. She had no kindness. And my question was, why are you working with children? Then I began to imagine, does she have children? Because, children do get sick. And when children don't feel well, especially if they've eaten something that has upset their stomach, they're going to throw it up, because that's what your body does when you ingest something and it's not sitting well with your system. You're going to regurgitate it, and that's what the little girl did. And she was being beaten, and that was not only sad, but that's harmful. And it was clear, this woman, where was the love for this innocent child? Where was her compassion? Where was her comprehension to teach us, to give us messages? And we're providing them with guidance. But I can imagine if she has children and how she takes her frustrations or anger out on her children, because it was clear that that's what she was doing with this particular child. And this is why it's so important that we learn to love ourselves. We learn to practice self-awareness and to practice being kind to ourselves so that we exchange this positive energy to those around us, especially to children who are our ancestors, because that's who children are. They are our ancestors who have returned. they have so much to offer us if we only give them a chance. And, we can't give what we don't have. And so the reaction of this woman towards this little girl is clear that she didn't have the patience. She didn't have the the loving skills needed to deal with children at such an early age. And so this brings me to another point where there's so many children and teens who are living and are feeling neglected and unappreciated. The feelings of not being accepted. And they don't have these feelings toward friends. These feelings are towards their mothers, their fathers, adults in the family, because they're not being able to express their feelings, their ideas, or their emotions, or they're being abused, just as I saw in the video. And that abuse can be physical or verbal. They're not given an opportunity to have a conversation with the people whom they love or they feel should be their safe haven. A home should be a safe haven. And if you have a mother and a father in a home that is always pushing you away or not giving you the opportunity to express yourself or teaching you to suppress your feelings and emotions, then this is why you have a lot of teenagers or children that seek the love and seek the attention and seek affection outside of the home. And a lot of times when the child does have an opportunity to speak to their mother or father to an adult, sometimes they are not taken serious. The conversations sometimes may deem as being unimportant. They are not shown love. They are not shown appreciation. They're not given the opportunity, or the adult involved in the scenario is not questioning or providing them with an opportunity to, elaborate on whatever the situation is. For example, if the child does something and it is not appropriate in the adult's eye, in the mother's eye, in the father's eye, instead of, a lot of times our first reaction as parents is to lash out, to scream, or to hit, popping a child. Instead of doing that, why not pause and ask the child or the teen or the young adult questions? Ask them, why did they do that? And a lot of times you'll receive a response, and it may not be something that you agree with, but remember, they're doing that based on their rationale, on their perception, their level of comprehension. And so that is a teachable moment. And so when inquiring and questioning children and questioning teens and questioning young adults, and that can be even with an adult, your partner, your friend, your family member, why did you do that? And that'll give you a better idea of that person's level of comprehension and or that person's perception. So that initiates dialogue where you can have a deeper understanding of that person's thought patterns and why he or she did, XYZ. We have to allow our children to speak. They have feelings too. And yes, it doesn't matter how old they are, because a lot of times we find that parents act as if children don't have feelings. They dismiss the child's feelings, and your feelings or emotions are not acknowledged. And so we need to be mindful of children's feelings. It doesn't matter how old they are. They have feelings and they need their time. They need time to be empowered. They need time to be inspired. They need time to be able to share ideas and perceptions. And sometimes they need their time alone. As adults need time alone, they need their time alone as well. They need to be heard. They need to be loved and accepted for who they are, and whatever it is that they, as they begin to become young adults, we have to learn to question, why are they choosing to do what they do, so that you have a better understanding or comprehension of why that child is taking that path. Because remember, they're here on their own journey. So they need, while they're on their journey, they need the hugs, they need the encouragement. They need to be told that they are worthy. Because you see, another issue is that religion teaches us that we are not worthy, and we have to get away from that mindset. Because when you feel that you're not worthy, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, but that mindset of I'm not worthy, it teaches you that, someone outside of you is worthy. It teaches you that, when you hear the word unworthy, that means you're not good enough, that you don't have to put forth any effort. You don't put forth attention. There's no respect, because when you're unworthy, those are the feelings that are attached to being unworthy, where you're not qualified. You're always you're not accepted, and this is all negative energy, and that is the unworthy mindset. When you have that unworthy mindset, it creates negative energy for yourself, and that negative energy transfers to people around you, especially to children. But see, we have to know that we are worthy. We are worthy. You're worthy because you are valuable, and so are these children. These children must be taught that they are important, that they are precious. The children, the teenagers, the young adults, our ancestors who are returned. We have to bring this type of attention to these children, to let them know how intelligent they are, how creative they are, that they're not here by accident. I don't care how they were conceived, but there's nobody here on this earth by accident. There's a reason why these children are here. There's a purpose. They have a purpose, and they have to fulfill their purpose. And we have to do our part as the adults in these children's presence to guide them so that they know these beautiful and positive things. Because you see, our ancestors knew and understood the knowledge of nature. They understood the knowledge of the cosmos, of astrology and numerology. And this helped them. All of these external factors influence our lives, and the ancestors knew this. And this is my third point, which is an important point. Understanding this knowledge, and it doesn't have to be a wealth of the knowledge, but just some basic comprehension of this knowledge. And if you want to go more in depth, which it's fine, but when you begin to comprehend the basic knowledge of astrology, of nature, your young adult, even within yourself, when you begin to understand that, it helps you to have more self-awareness. It helps you to identify certain aspects or characteristics or traits that you have, that, okay, this is my nature. And if you feel that it's a weakness, it helps you to, okay, I have to strengthen this. Or if this is a strength and it's too strong, then you know that, okay, I have to balance that out, because it's all about balance. The cosmos, nature, astrology, numerology, it's us, as above, so below. And when we begin to comprehend that, it helps us to identify these aspects within ourselves, the positivity that comes from that. you're able to transfer that positive energy to those around you, especially the children and your relationships, your partner, your family. I can attest to it because it has helped me tremendously. And what it did for me, I was no longer trying to correct certain people. When I begin to identify these different aspects, I'm like, nope, that's just who they are. And I still was able to provide guidance, and I'm still here to help them find solutions to obstacles and challenges, and to help them find answers to their questions. But I wasn't providing it myself. I was guiding them to find it themselves with my guidance, working with children and families and teenagers and young adults, and helping them tackle solutions, tackle obstacles, tackle challenges. And this came from a change of perception and ideation from learning the knowledge of the universe, learning the knowledge of the cosmos, learning the knowledge and wisdom that our ancestors utilized. It's not all about our perceptions and ideations. We have to put them aside, and we have to begin to peel the layers of each individual, child, teen, or young adult, or any person that is in our presence. We have to help them gain insight on how beautiful, creative, powerful, magical, and intelligent they are, so that they can take on their purpose sooner and not later. It all has to start with love and compassion, with kindness, with acceptance. Challenge yourself. What changes can you make to begin to love and embrace yourself first, a little bit more, to love and embrace yourself a little bit more, and to transfer that energy to your children, to children that you are surrounded by, to your spouse, to your partner? Can you practice more patience? Can you practice saying more positive words? Can you, and these positive words to yourself and to the children or teens, the young ones around you? How about more hugs? I would like to hear from you. What other suggestions do you have that you can start doing so that it is manifesting consistently? Because with this positive energy, we can shift the energy around us, and so that will shift the energy in the community, and it goes on and on and on like a domino effect. I did not intend for this video to be this long, but I would like to thank you for listening, and I would love to hear from you. Please leave your comments and or questions down below, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share the link. And until next time, love, power, and health.